What is that? What? Did you fix it?
I think so.
No. I hate how everyone goes, hey guys. Hey guys. We already went over that in the video.
So my microwave was sucking?
Yeah. But it wasn't blowing.
It was sucking in the wrong spot.
It blew.
Oh, it blew.
But it didn't suck.
Not good suck.
That's my wife. It's my beautiful wife, Kelly.
Hi, I'm the wife.
Yep, I'm Jared. And we bought this Samsung microwave, right, for our kitchen. And it's an what do they call it? OTR, over the range. It's an over the range microwave. What we found was it had two nice, beautiful, high-powered motors, blower motors, right there. Yep. And they blew a lot of air out the top, but it wasn't sucking air from the bottom, which is its sole purpose, right? Over the range, it's supposed to be the hood range. So, after some research on the internet, a lot of people have the same issue with a lot of different Samsungs. It was my goal to not return it. It was to kind of make it better. I saw a couple of videos online where people, they didn't show the video if it worked or not, but they showed, okay, you open up the case and there's a whole bunch of air leaks throughout the case. So I'm gonna show those to you now. Okay. So we open up the case, and okay, so this is my prototype. All right, I don't know, maybe I will leave it like this.
It's not ready for market.
It's not ready for market. What I found, there's obviously, all right, microwaves here, there's a lot of ventilation holes from the cabinet. And I know that there's got to be some ventilation holes before somebody says, oh, all the steam's not going to come out and it's going to destroy everything. I understand there has to be some ventilation holes. I left plenty open. Here's the blower motor. Here's the suction side of the blower motor. It's pulling air around this side of the cavity. It's supposed to come from the bottom, but it had so many different holes throughout the case that the air suction never even made it to the bottom. It was coming out of the internal parts. It was up here, coming out through the grill. The grill is used, if you're gonna have air basically coming in through the bottom and just coming out the top, you're supposed to take these fans, take them out and rotate them so that it sucks the air from the bottom and blows it across and out through the top. What I noticed was when we turned it on, there was suction here. So air was getting pulled in through here, not a lot, but enough to hold, you know, some of the plastic wrap that it came in, it held it there. So that's enough, that's too much suction. That's air that's supposed to be coming from the bottom. So we went through, and there's a sensor here. I'm not sure what the sensor is for. Focus. I'm not sure what that sensor is for. It could be a moisture detection. I don't know, maybe it kicks a fan on. So I left those open on the bottom. There's other holes through here. You probably can't see them. There's other holes through here which come through the cabinet. And there's other holes underneath here that you can't quite see that are also coming from the microwave cabinet that I left open so moisture can come through. Here's the other side. That's the other air intake for that motor. And it's supposed to pull air from down here, down this chamber, and again from here. But there were so many holes. Here's some more holes. You can't see them. I'm telling you, they're there though. Believe me, they're all right up there, right at the top of the case. There's more holes going into the microwave chamber, so to speak. And as you can see, lots of holes that weren't being used on the back of the case. Now we do have some screw holes here for the case to go back on, but look at all these holes that were allowing air to come in and not be pulled from the bottom, which is its sole purpose. And it's kind of hard to block these off, but a lot of the air should not be coming through there because the air should be coming through here. So the air, there shouldn't be too much draw coming through here. Now I do see a fan here. I believe that's for the magnetron and the power transformer. And there's still some, I left some holes down here open to circulate that. We don't do a ton of microwaving. So, you know, it's not like we're going to be cooking turkeys in this stupid thing. But that is about it. So I'm going to put the cover back on and see if the suction from the bottom will at least hold a piece of paper or whatever to the bottom. It wasn't doing that before. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Again, this is the prototype. We're going to kind of neaten things up a little bit. I might replace some of this taping with caulking to seal the holes. But before I made a big mess, I just kind of wanted to give this a shot. All right, so that's about it. I'm looking for serial number, okay, or model number. This is the ME20H705MSS. That's the model number right there. And I saw a lot of stuff on the internet for all sorts of models, all from Samsung. And I thought I might have even seen some LGs in there too. But very common, I guess. Poor design. We'll see how it goes. We'll be back. Let you know. So while Kelly is doing the screws here,
That catch?
I don't know. Looks good though. I wonder if that's why the that guy goes up front. That's an oddball. If that's why these things were on such a good sale price. They're actually lower than we paid for it a few months back. Yep, so these go up front. I mean, a ton of complaints, and it doesn't seem like, it seemed like most of the responses from Samsung were just, sending a service person out. Basically, the service person would hold up a napkin, and even though the napkin would barely stick to the bottom, they'd say, well, it's working just fine. It's doing what it's intended to do. And I guess if you look at it that way, maybe you're right. Maybe that is the way it's intended to work. Just barely have some suction to it. But if you could feel the amount of air coming out of these two squirrel cage motors, it's night and day difference. So you're like, where is all that air coming from? So, let's see. Oh, there's more on that side.
So with the flat and the rounded ones, with the flat ones.
The flat ones go in there with the grill that goes up in the top.
Yep.
Give me a second here. There's some under the edges too. So yeah, one could only assume that if all that air is coming out, then air is getting in there somewhere, and it's just not enough to pull through the bottom. If the motors were spinning like crazy and nothing was coming out, I'd say, okay, it's just a poor design. It's not getting enough airflow, blah, blah, blah. But there was plenty, just not in the right designated spots. And the thing's a beast too. Kel's got the, for the most part, the cabinet back together. I got to put the grill back on. This is the grill that would, there we go. If the air was recirculating out, if it was non-ducted to outside exhaust, it would just come through this after going through this charcoal filter. So it's not coming this way. So I got to put this back on, and we got to get some screws on the other side here, and then we'll plug it in. I'll rehang it because it takes 2 seconds to rehang it. I'll rehang it and see if there's any difference in the bottom. If not, I'm just going to leave it like this, and you know, it'll be what it'll be, right? Yeah, that's my girl. And we have to do the ductwork. I got a couple 90-degree elbows here, and we have adapters to go from the rectangular fitting to the round 6-inch fitting up there. But we're getting there. So we have the microwave range hung and plugged in, and we are ready to display the results. Vanna. This is, all right, so cycle through, start recording. Okay, so this is one. And now Vanna's gonna hold a piece of paper under one of the vents. Okay, that's one vent. That's the other vent. Okay. But hold it near it so people can see at what point it. Okay, can you do it again on the other side? Okay. So much better.
Very nice.
I noticed a big difference with my hand alone, under there, you know, under the intake. On speed 1, I felt more air moving through those intakes than I did prior to making these modifications on speed 4. So I think we did so much better. So you really can't see much from down below. There's a light in here. We have a light. I mean, these are like rich people options.
And
Light.
boom. Oh.
Look at
It's
it.
high-low. Oh,
There's a, yeah,
it's low.
yeah.
That's
Like
nice.
night light.
And for kids' meals, if you want to warm up your kids' meals.
Those are for rich kids. Fit choice. What's it do? Does it take like a vat of sugar and turn it into,
Kale.
yeah, and string beans? And who microwaves snacks? What kind of snacks? Like, are you putting like, you know, Sour Patch Kids in there? Are you putting M&Ms?
I don't think that's a snack. It's more of a treat.
Oh.
Unless you're...
Oh, so you can hit this and it'll cook.
Boom.
Wow.
It will popcorn. It will potato.
That's great.
And you can soften and melt. That's nice,
How
because
about-
I often need to use softened butter for my recipes.
And if you're cold, you can hit the keep warm button and climb inside.
That's...
Because
You have options.
you've got options. What is that? Eco mode? For what?
Oh, we'll have to do some research.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll have to do some research because the stupid thing didn't come with
A manual.
a manual. I had to choose my words wisely. It didn't come with a manual.
Or a...
Signor,
No manual.
primo uno. I'm not taking that thing down again and tearing it apart to take the blue tape off. I'm gonna leave it just as is and see how it goes. If I start hearing tape getting sucked into the fan, then I know that the heat and moisture may have gotten to it, and I'll have to go through and do caulking. I was gonna use metal-backed foil tape, but I thought that might interfere with some
Probably not.
with some microwave, and maybe not. Who knows? You know, the microwave waves are supposed to stay inside the cabinet, but there are holes there, and it does have a metal rack inside it, so I don't know how that works. I haven't wrapped my head around that one. You put some tin foil in the microwave and there's a lightning show, yet it's got a metal rack in it, so it's got to be what the rack is made out of. But, so we opted to stay away from the metal tape, and we went with blue painter's tape.
Fancy.
Yeah, very fancy. We didn't know that it had rich kid options, like, you know, warm your mittens and wake up to gentle sounds of birds and pixies flying around. We didn't know it had those options. So anyways, that's it. And yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like it's going to become one with the oven. Like, I feel like if we turn a few burners on at once, it's going to melt. But it's within its specs. It says 13 to 18. I think we're at 13 and a half. Kel, why don't you whip out a good measurement? I think there's a tape measure right over there. Just get me from the, right here.
Oh, I keep looking at the yellow one.
It blends in, I know. Let's go from here to the countertop.
So we are at,
No, we're actually at 14 and a half.
oh.
Look at that. We're not going to die.
We've got room to groove, people.
We're not going to die. There must be one of those rich kid options. It shrinks overnight, the microwave, to fit perfectly. Anyways, want to see a hack job? Stand by. Look at this. Look at it. Okay, I mean, that little notch is there for that, right? But I get this humongous hole that they wanted me to cut. Oh, hang on. I'm still going to do that thing. But just for size comparison, as we often do. Are you kidding? I had to cut 3/4 of my cabinet out so that this would fit. Good Lord. Anyways, and then these are my blade marks from having my my jigsaw at an angle. So, but the whole thing is trashed anyways. These are nothing but the best cabinets that leftover sawdust could afford. And there's the hole. Okay, that's it. So, thank you for joining us. I hope that helps. I hope that helps somebody because it seemed like there was an awful lot of people. Don't go.
Oh.
That's right. There was an awful lot of people on the web with Samsung issues, and I really hope that helps. So go inside, take the cabinet off. It's really simple. The screws are short, takes 2 seconds. Take the cabinet off and look at all the holes in the back and throughout, and you'll see why it doesn't suck from the bottom. So now it sucks and blows, and it's everything we ever dreamed of. Okay, so thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day, and bye-bye.